welcome to the RedLeafRetrocast, the modern gamecast. Doing something a little bit different today. I'm your host JD, and we're starting with Mother and her game.
Mother.
Yes, Mother.
Oh, Mother dearest.
Mother dearest. I played the games, you watched the games.
What?
I played the games and you watched the games.
I watched the games. Oh my god.
We're here for your perspective from the Let's Play entertainment side of things, and then I have the whole gaming, actual playing the side of things, because in the environment of gaming these days, like it or not, the world of Twitch streaming, YouTube gaming, it is very much alive and a huge part of the industry. So,
it's game changer.
It's a game changer, you might say, exactly. This is our first episode of 2020. The original recording, unfortunately, was lost, where it was Jay and I talking about January through March games.
What?
Yeah, very unfortunate. So,
what?
Basically redoing the entire episode from scratch. And
what did you do?
Look, I'm sorry, my audio just didn't work.
Wow.
it was my fault. I don't know what happened.
Wow, amateur. There you go, amateur. Yeah.
Only been doing this for 3 years. Whatever.
Yeah, amateur. Still learning.
Hey, mistakes happen. Now it's time to maybe try something a little bit different. Take advantage of the mistake. The unfortunate event, as Kitty Cat is all over the place. He was
as I said, I am not doing any repeats.
Yeah, well. So yes, January 2020 through March 2020, first episode.
Why don't you like that cat in the other room while this is going on?
Because then he goes after carpet and shit, wanting out, and I can't be having that.
You'd lock him in the bathroom.
He reaches his paws underneath the door and grabs that carpet.
No, then you. What the hell kind of cat do you have?
A troublemaker.
Jeez. Yeah, he needs another buddy.
Well, the rule is when I podcast, especially with you, apparently, he must always go back and forth between this room, up on the windowsill, across the table. Lots and lots of trouble. And eventually might lay down next to me or something or another. But here we are, gaming.
Oh my god.
Mom, you watched...
Catman!
Yeah. You watched 4 games, and I played 4 games. The remainder games will be with Jay, which he will finish out the cast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good deal.
So the first game we're going to talk about is Dreams, exclusive on the PlayStation 4, company that brought us Little Big Planet, that little series. I was a big fan of Little Big Planet in college when that came out. It was a big dorm room hit, one might say. Lots of drinking games involved with that. They've taken a huge turn in the idea of creating your own levels from Little Big Planet, making it on a totally new scale, epic scale of proportions. And here we are, Dreams, full 3D, create a game maker. So it's a game within a game, basically. There is a story mode to Dreams called Arch Dreams, where basically it's a trip down this musician who's come on hard times. He's left his band, and he's battling kind of his own mental demons on, am I good enough to succeed kind of situation? Can I make it on the big stage? Who will I let down? And it's a big kind of mental discourse through that. So it's a very well told story, while at the same time the game itself switches between levels. It switches between different genres of games. So like one level's a platformer, another's a point and click adventure, and it just keeps going on from there. It's very well told. So I quite enjoyed that. I highly recommend it. It gives you ideas of like what kind of games you can create within Dreams. And the big crux is the game was delayed a couple years, basically, and it came out, I think, like 16 months ago on early access, and the people that would buy the game in this early access were required basically to make levels in the game throughout this year-long period, so when the actual release came out to the public, that there were already hundreds of levels made within the game, instead of waiting, 3-4 months for someone to create something on an epic scale or complete setting. So that's the little backstory there with it. Mother, you saw some gameplay. You saw some levels. We hung out together. We picked some random ones. What did you think about what you experienced and saw?
Well, I thought it was kind of cool, people's vision of game playing. It was fun. I like the toilet paper one.
Yeah, a little platformer where you're a toilet paper roll, avoiding the coronavirus. That
was quite entertaining.
Yeah, people get very creative with it. There's a full remake of PT, a horror game experience. So you went through that whole thing with me.
See, and I thought that was boring. I didn't like PT. Outpost 60 was weird. And then, the ruckus. What would I have? Just Brother Natural Disaster, Dream versus Dash, Opposite Day 2, regular day. That was kind of fun.
That was funny. Opposite Day 2.
Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah, that was kind of a Stanley Parable take on a game. It wants you to do the opposite of everything, and it gets mad at you no matter what choice you make. So that was really funny. Ruckus was kind of this cute Godzilla parody, which was funny.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not to say there aren't misses, like any creative game.
Of course not, and because these, yes, they're gamers, but they're not developers like a gamer would be, so you're going to have your flaws or what have you. And I mean, it was still fun. It was still fun. And that's what it was supposed to be, right? Fun.
Yeah, that is.
Isn't that what gaming should be? Fun?
I don't know. I mean, some people take it very seriously.
Well, they do take it very seriously, but I think those are the dark games. Oh. The games that go deep within your psyche. That you're living in the dark. You will be dark. Everything you do will be death and destruction.
Right. Well, I really like the ideas people have come up with horror games within Dreams. That's pretty much my favorite genre I've discovered in it. Platformers are hit and miss a lot of the times. Someone created a very faithful kind of Spyro the Dragon offshoot, which is really cool to see. So there's a lot of good things. This game exceeded my expectations when it came out, especially after the long delay.
Yeah.
It's a great pick up and play game. Not a lot. You don't get stressed out playing it at all.
They're quick.
Oh yeah, the interface is very seamless.
Yeah.
Like, you don't like this level, you just pop, okay, get another one on almost immediately.
Right.
It's very cool.
Right.
If you had to go through crazy loading screens a lot of the times, that might get a little trying on people's patience, for sure. Yeah.
Well, not necessarily. The people that live in the dark, they like all of that. They like to build things.
So you rather enjoyed Dreams?
I did rather enjoy Dreams. Yes, I did.
It's definitely something. I mean, there's videos of like parents with their kids making levels.
Yeah. Lots of fun. Lots of fun.
High recommendation from Mom?
Yeah.
Okay.
I give it a 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up from Mom.
Yeah.
So those that asked, we will be doing tier listing on the gaming podcast here for 2020, just like in the retro one. So off the podcast, we'll keep track of what we rank each game for how much we play of it. Jay and I personally, Mom, you will be involved in that too.
Oh boy.
Of the ones you experience, and we'll take the aggregate score, and then by the end of the year, we'll have our little game of the year.
We'll come up with games of the year.
So that'll be cool.
Cool. Good stuff.
The next game we checked out was Nioh 2, which came out in March. Whew. What did you think of this one, Mom?
This past March?
Yes.
Oh. So, I watched part 1. Is that correct?
I mean, if that's what you watched, yeah.
That's what I watched. The Village of Crushed Blossoms.
Go on.
Seems to be a lot of processes before you even get into the game.
So tell me I want you to tell me what Nioh 2 is about. Can you do that?
Let's see. Well, okay. Wasn't really feeling this, but and I say that because if you're like a Dark Soul, you would like this maybe.
Uh-huh.
I just felt it was too much building. I don't know. I have no idea. All you do is destroy, build, and destroy. So I really don't know what the premise of this whole thing is, other than the Village of Crushed Blossoms. I mean, what am I? What? I couldn't watch it. I watched it. I just kept dying in the dark, going, "What the hell are they doing?" I don't get it. I don't get it.
Okay, so I'll fill you in. Just Right Fast Dreams has
I wasn't finished.
Okay. Well,
so I felt that there was lots of role playing and a need to change and add or kill before many to mounting to another level. Mm-hmm. It was kind of dark to me in general. It was just dark to me.
So did you watch the video I recorded on YouTube, RedLeafRetrocast, or did you watch someone else's video?
Oh, was I supposed to watch yours?
No, that's why I'm asking.
Oh, okay. No. I watched whatever came up.
And
that's why
did you write that person down?
Nioh 2.
Give the YouTuber a little credit there.
Well, I can tell you off the top of my head. Let me see. What did I do? Oh, I'd have to get my tablet. Well, let me see if I can do this. Hang on. Keep going. Keep talking.
Okay, so just right fast. Metacritic has Dreams at a current score of 89, so it's a big hit. Nioh has an 85, or Nioh 2 specifically. Nioh 2 is developed by Team Ninja. Published by Koei Tecmo and Sony Computer Entertainment, another exclusive for the PS4. This is an action role-playing game, very much in the realm of the Dark Souls style of game, where you kill enemies, collect souls or what have you, and you go to various checkpoints and you can upgrade a host of stats.
Oh, is that what you're supposed to do? Collect souls?
Yeah, by killing enemies, you collect souls or coin or whatever you want to perceive a currency as, right? And you use said currency to upgrade your stat lines. In the case of Nioh 2, there's a billion of them. You can upgrade your weapons, you can upgrade your armor, you can upgrade your weapon styles, you can upgrade your baseline character stats. Upgrade, make your character stronger in all these sorts of ways. And doing so makes you stronger, of course. That will help you progress through the game. And as you progress through the game, the story just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. You are this like half demon woman, half demon, half human thing, and you're just this wandering entity kinda, and you're destroying your fellow demons that are, or yokai in this case, that are infesting villages because war's breaking out, etc., etc. And he comes across, whatever gender you pick, comes across a merchant, and he's got his own little spirit animal, which is a monkey, because he monkeys around kind of deal. And the whole story is them just traveling and unlocking kind of the world's story, not so much their own, as opposed to the first game, which was all about your character's story. So they went much more focused on the gameplay here rather than a story, which kind of is the tale of two stories in the first game, where the story was good, but the gameplay wasn't quite there, wasn't expanded upon enough in the second half. In this one, the gameplay is all there, and this time they forewent the story, unfortunately. The game is ass hard. It is really hard. You will die a lot. I got my ass handed to me for 4 hours, and I made it to like 2 bosses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just death upon death upon death. So if you're a fan of Dark Souls, and you're familiar with Dark Souls and those games, this would be up your alley, but be extremely warned, this is not an entry-level type game. That would most likely go to something like The Surge 2.
Right.
Much easier. Yeah. This is definitely for more experienced players. Luckily, you do have a lot of those stat line upgrades, so if you're not so great at it like me, you can kind of grind and upgrade your stat lines to make the game a little bit easier. There's a cool little sequence or thing in the game where you can summon AI players or real life players to help you out in difficult areas. So that's really cool. But yeah, if you played the first one, it's very much.
You want to know who I watched was Fightin' Cowboy.
Fightin' Cowboy. Okay.
Isn't that appropriate?
Yeah, why not? So what did you, I mean, since you had a hard time understanding what you were watching, what was your kind of take on this darker feel of a game? Because more or less on this podcast, besides Death Stranding, which that was an experience in itself, you tend to see a lot of the more cartoony games. Just the way things have worked out.
Yeah, I do, and well, it just works out that way. But I've never been a fan of dark. I've never been a fan of this style of game. Mm-hmm. It's not my thing. I can't get into it. I like things lighter, but it seems like when these kind of games come out, they're always so dark, and there's so much information that you have to read and grasp, and I don't know how anyone does it. You have to be a really fast reader or something. Because I am not, and what you have to read is so small. So
you're actually right on with that. That's been a complaint I've had with a lot of games, especially in the last couple of years.
So if I'm supposed to,
text in game is so tiny.
It's so tiny, and so what size, and how much time do I have, and what size of my tablet? I mean, if you're doing even on a gamer laptop or whatever, it's very small, and what do you have a magnifier over your laptop window so that you can enlarge the text, and and you're only given so much time to get all that shit on.
Right.
It's just it's too much, and I guess it's too much for the person who doesn't have the experience. Mm-hmm. And so I'm sure that people that are at this level for this type of game, it's a piece of cake to them because they're so used to it. Okay. And I think the thing that you may have the problem with too, because you're not used to it. It's not something that you play with every day. So you're not, your brain kind of goes into chaos because there's so much little and things that you have to grasp that, that it becomes chaos in your mind. You're going, I hate this game. This sucks. I don't want to play this shit. And, and rightfully so, because it's not part of your gaming thing that you like, so it's great for someone who does those kind of things all the time, that's what they enjoyed. So it's a cakewalk for them. So for me, it wasn't a cakewalk, and it's irritating.
Well, fair enough. From the difficulties perspective, this wasn't a cakewalk either.
Yeah.
Just to give a little perspective, like a Mario boss will have, let's say, 4 or 5 moves, and kind of in a similar repetition of it all. Mm-hmm. You follow me so far?
Mm-hmm.
Like a headbutt, a left punch, a right punch, and then like a tail attack. Let's just put it in simple terms like that. In this game, not only will just the regular enemies do that and then change between stances and styles, the boss battles, I had like a counter of the first boss battle, and I counted at least 35 different fight animations / moves. And so you can just imagine.
But that's cool, though, right?
It's really cool, but it makes it so unpredictable and a huge challenge. There was a game last year that came out. It was a ninja game called Sekiro, and the Sekiro.
Yeah, Sucky.
Well, Sucky-ro is kind of what I'd be called, because I sucky-roed at
it. There you go.
Where it was such a great game, but the enemies and the way the game forced you to play was so damn hard that you just hit a wall and you can't get past it. So I always ask the question, and I'll ask you, if you can't finish the game, is that game good for you?
Well, I guess it could be good enough. You're like, okay, I'm done with this.
That was the final boss.
Yeah, exactly. Because after a while, your frustration says, you know what, I can't do this anymore. Yeah. I'm done. And you move on and you go, well, that's kind of sucky that I couldn't finish the game, but, maybe you might pick it up again later after you go, well, maybe if I did this. But that's only if you're at a point where, you put it away and you come back to it because you've thought about something that if you want to try it this way, then it works. Or you go into the mode that I've had enough of this shit. I'm done. Throw the freaking game in the box and say goodbye. Move on.
All right.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. So, you
don't have to finish every game.
No, you don't. That is very true. So thumbs down from you then?
Well,
or are you in the middle?
Yeah, I think any game actually has its audience, so I can't really say it's a yay or nay. For me, it would be a nay because I don't like that kind of frustration, and I've said it before about games like that. And
well, then go with your thumbs down.
Right. For me, it would be thumbs down, but then for others who like this type of game, definitely, especially if they like you said, they like Dark Souls, this would be good.
Yeah.
So it gets an up and a down. Right?
So our next game is something you actually enjoyed, Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
I did.
A sequel
I watched part 1.
Ori and the Blind Forest. It finally happened.
I actually watched the whole thing through.
Wow.
Yeah. I liked that there was a story. And I wasn't quite sure about the wispy little guy because that was kind of weird, but at least you understood the premise of it. It was a little slow in the beginning, I thought. A little slow, very quiet. Is this where does this come from, Ori? Is that from Japan? Is that one of those type of...
They are developed by Moon Studios, and they are out of Austria.
Austria. Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. Because it has an Asian feel to me, because with the peace and the quiet and the birds and, that kind of thing.
Well,
there's like this message going on.
Oh, there's certainly a message. It takes a lot of inspiration from the Metroid franchise, which is a Japanese based franchise. Published by Xbox Game Studio, so it's an Xbox exclusive. In my opinion, it's the best Xbox exclusive since Cuphead. So it's been years since Xbox came out with a good exclusive title. So this was a big hit. It's available on Game Pass, monthly service Xbox has for $5 on your PC or your Xbox One system. Joey's actually been playing this as well. He's a big fan. Which YouTuber did you watch the gameplay from?
It was Fighting Cowboy again.
Oh, you're liking this Fighting Cowboy fella.
Well, it ends up being that, yeah. That's who I ended up watching it with.
I'm looking up this dude. Fighting Cowboy. Okay, one word.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's very popular. 647,000 subscribers.
There you go.
He's streaming. He's actually streaming Nioh 2 right now.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So anyway, given that it was a little slow and very quiet, it looks to be easy enough. But this one is dark too, I felt. It's a little on the dark side.
It has a dark undertone, that's for sure.
And it's pretty one-dimensional. You didn't, a lot of times you have your 3Ds and turn and do this and that, and this really didn't have that.
Yes, it's more of an old school 2D platformer.
Yeah. I like the forest monster. I think I'd like more action though. But like I said, of the three that I watched this the longest.
Wow. How far does his first video go? Like, what's the last thing you saw?
When they got into, they left the forest. They were going into like this. They ran into a storm.
Okay, so the big epic opening to the game. So you got through a lot of the tutorials and you didn't get to see a big crux of the game then.
No.
But I am very...
You told me I didn't have to.
You didn't have to. It was however long you wanted to watch, but you said...
Right, how I felt.
However you felt. But here's the thing. A game has to hook you, whether you're a viewer or player.
That's true enough.
The beginning of any game is very important. And one criticism a lot of people have, especially old school gamers, is all these games require these long tutorial sessions of learning the controls and holding the player's hand, walking through everything. So it takes a long time just to get going. Or the other argument
Can't you skip it?
Some games let you skip the tutorial areas.
Right, because, sometimes you don't need all that.
And another common complaint that in terms of modern gaming to retro gaming, a lot of people in the Retro Gaming podcast, fans that chime in and whatnot, they complain that too many modern games are very movie-oriented these days. A lot of cutscenes, very story-heavy. And they feel
I can say that.
And that's what film is for. I'm playing a video game. I want to play a game. And
and you know what? Now that I think about it, that's absolutely what all three of the games you had me watch. They all had that same shit. Instead of just playing, it's got this talk.
Well, Dreams is nothing but playing games. That's the whole premise.
Right.
Nioh 2, I can say, it's mostly about destroying the demons with the gameplay mechanics. The story was actually put to the side more to focus on the gameplay. Ori and the Will of the Wisps has a very long tutorial and opening video sequence to kind of get you back into the feel of the characters that you played in the first game, and then it opens up a lot.
Okay.
So I will say that those 3 games in particular, or actually all 4 that we're discussing here, start off relatively fast, within the first half hour, I would say. Just playing off what Joey and I were briefly discussing on the Retrocast, because he's been playing this. You follow Ori. It's like a little spirit rabbit of sorts. Spirit rabbit squirrel.
Okay. Spirit rabbit squirrel.
Well, you have your little forest friends, and one of them is an owl. And unfortunately, the owl has a defective wing, right? No feathers. Well, they come across a feather of its dead mother, right? And that now allows their little owl friend to fly because it yearns for the sky. And of course, they take flight, and a big storm happens, and they crash land in a different forest land across from the big lake or whatever, right? So the first game takes place in that forest that you start in, and now you flew to an unknown land in their eyes, in the creature's eyes, and it has, just like in the first one, it has its own like evil entity that's taken over the forest, and you must progress through the forest to lighten it up, right? Make it nice again. Same premise in this one, but this time you also now have to save your friend, the little bird guy. And there's a big bad enemy that's lurking around. So, did you find it cute, sad? You did mention its darker side.
It is dark, but it was all right. I don't know. If I'm supposed to make the field greener, I didn't get there. If I'm supposed to put flowers somewhere, I didn't get there.
Yeah.
know?
I will say I've played just over the halfway point in the game, and you do finally meet up with your little bird friend, and then the story takes a big twist from there. And this is what I really liked, how they improved upon the first game. Was the first game was very much like this first half of Will of the Wisps, where you're going point to point, find the tree, light it up, and you get an ability, and that gets you to another area of the forest to, again, light up, get ability, and then, some escape sequences, and you save the forest. In this one, you do that for the first half, and then the second one, it puts a twist on the story to kind of rejuvenate how you now feel about what's going on in the world, and now you can expand even more on your abilities, so you get that extra connection through it, which I thought was really cool, a huge improvement from the first game. A nitpick would definitely be the new little gameplay mechanics where you have slots, and so you have abilities that are now tied to these slots. So now you have to pick and choose between the abilities. There's a few of those that were... Oh, hi, kitty. Now it's your cat.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Stop on a dime, right?
It speaks.
Yeah. So it's really cool. This is a really good game. I highly recommend it, especially for people, platform fans, and they want a more emotional connection on a simple level, I would say.
Agree. Yeah.
It's definitely something I'd recommend to kids. It gives me like a Land Before Time type feel throughout it. There's so much animation constantly going on in the game. where you can seemingly pause it anywhere, or not even just pause it, just stop what you're doing and just look at all the just actions and stuff happening in the background, the foreground, around you, the stop animations. It's really beautiful to look at. It has a 90 on Metacritic. It deserves every bit of it. It's definitely one of the top games of the year easily so far. And then our last game that we'll be discussing for this podcast with you, Mother, is what? So tell me.
Oh. Thought you were going to say.
No.
Let's play Deserted Island.
Deserted Island? Well, I mean, yeah.
Animal Crossings?
Animal Crossing New Horizons.
New Horizons. There you go. Deserted Island Getaway Place. Oh, yeah. So I saw the sign in the background. That's why I have that.
Okay.
Because I thought, well, maybe that's the name of this? What? Wait a minute. That's okay. I had a long day. A long day yesterday. Okay. I actually like this one.
Really?
Well, because I like, you know, how much I like fun little stupid things.
Uh-huh.
And those raccoons cracked me up.
Yeah, the whole game sounds like that.
Thank God the person I was watching was reading it, because I didn't understand raccoon at all.
You know, I do speak a number of languages. That is certainly not one of them I learned.
But they were funny. And, you know, previewing the island to see what was going on, what's going to look like. I enjoyed that, you know, you could, when you were going to pick a tent, you could place where you wanted the tent. And there was a lot of good visuals with this. I think it was easy to follow. It's a great, to me, it would be a great family game.
Very much so. So it's developed and published by Nintendo. It is from a long time going series now within Nintendo, since the GameCube era is when it first came out.
Oh, wow, okay.
This game is immensely popular right now.
I could see why, honestly.
Immensely popular. I've already put like 15 hours into this sucker.
I could even play.
Oh, you definitely could.
Yeah. It would be easy enough for me to play, and it would be a great learning play game, you know?
Yeah.
For someone who doesn't really play games, I think this would be a good introduction to someone who really doesn't play games, but wants to play. And you wouldn't be frustrated through it. So it gets 2 thumbs up from me on this one.
Well, my experience did have a little frustration, actually.
Oh, you did?
I did. Well, the game functions in almost real time.
Okay.
Or actually, it does function in real time. How life proceeds on the island and what things are unlocked when. For example,
okay.
There's also a lot of jokes throughout the game. I'll get to those in a second.
Okay.
So this game has a 91 on Metacritic, so it's the highest scored game of the bunch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's extremely popular.
You got 2 thumbs up.
The whole purpose of the game, there's twofold, is to make your deserted island into something special. By progressing through Mr. Raccoon, Tom Nook, and he gives you various tasks and whatnot in a more or less linear manner. And your other objective is to create your own kind of house and life on the island in all sorts of customization of what you can create within the game. So wallpaper and furniture and all the kinds of stuff, right?
Okay.
Where it gets a little frustrating is your items in the game that you need to gather supplies and whatnot throughout the island. They break, and they break rather fast. So you are constantly having to go back and build a new stone axe, build a new this, build a new that. Oh, it broke. I have to go back and do it again. Oh, but I need 20 wood first.
Well,
okay.
That's annoying.
Yeah. So not a huge fan on it, but it's not like it doesn't detriment.
Why
my
did
experience
the
in the
things
game.
break?
Well,
that's what I want to know. Why do these things break?
Why? It's to kill time essentially. Or just it's to.
Well, that's frustrating then.
Yeah, but the more frustrating part is these supplies that you're gathering aren't infinite in time. So let's say you go to a rock and pummel the rock with an axe, and you have iron and clay come out of the rock. Okay? So you gather that iron and clay. You can't get more iron and clay out of that same rock until 24 hours have passed. Or the next day in terms of where you live.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
And it's all random on what specific resource comes out of said rock. Where my frustration lied is, in order to progress through the game over my first weekend with it, I needed 30 iron ore to make a museum that Tom Nook just so happened to give me that job. Because he couldn't do it himself, like an asshole. And he's like, well, I would help you with your tent, but you also owe 80,000 bells, which is the currency in the game. So I can't help you there until you pay that back. And then you need to collect this iron in order to get, unlock other stuff and progress. So the game actually, I thought, taught me to destroy the rock to get the resources out of it. And then therefore the rock was completely destroyed and it just wouldn't come back. Not for until the weekend had passed, basically.
Oh, wow.
So
3 days later.
Right. So then what you can do is you can get a ticket to visit other islands, or, contact your friends to visit their islands, and they'll have rocks. The problem then I had to grind to buy the ticket with its other in-game currency, not the actual currency where you can sell and resell stuff. You have to do it has this grind game currency called Nook Miles. So it's your miles you get by doing Tom Nook things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you spend that money to get a ticket to go visit an island, get their resources, then take back to yours. The problem is I wasn't ever getting iron nuggets. I just kept getting stones and clay, or even money out of the rocks. Go figure that. I was like, this is everything I don't need right now. I just want the iron. So that was very frustrating. Turns out you can bash the rock like you would a tree, just kind of knock into it, and things will come out. You don't have to destroy it. So I'm like, fuck, I've been doing this all wrong. Because I didn't interpret what the game taught me correctly.
Oh.
And the game doesn't teach you it doesn't teach you everything. It just teaches you the basics, and then you just kind of figure everything out as you go. But it's a very cute game. The jokes behind it is Tom Nook is this evil economist of sorts, or a loan shark, and his whole objective is to put everyone in as much debt as possible, and then he becomes a mob boss, so people have funny texts that they replace for him. Pay back your house or I'll break your legs kind of situation, and then you're thinking, you made me buy the house, otherwise I couldn't leave. That kind of stuff. It's really funny. Yeah. The jokes people make with it. Yeah. And then the characters all have their own little quirks to them that move to the island. There's a seagull of sorts that he's like a sailor, but he's always drunk and he just washes up onto various parts of the beach. Mm-hmm. And he's passed out on the beach all the time, so that's funny. So it's a lot of those more mature jokes.
Well, see, there you go.
Little kids wouldn't understand
They
it,
wouldn't
right?
get it, but the parent would, and they're going, "Oh no, we don't want to have that. We don't want our children to be watching that. That's
Yeah.
not good."
Well, it's pretty funny.
But it's funny.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, a lot of your movies, Disney movies and such. There's jokes in the movie that only a parent would get, an adult.
Right.
It'd fly right over the kid's head. I'm wondering why the parents laughing. I didn't think that was really that funny. So it's for all ages, which is good.
So did you like this or Ori or Dreams more?
Well, for me, I would take Animal Crossings over the other two.
All right.
Over Ori. Yeah.
There you go. Animal Crossing.
Because they're two, I mean, they're two different. It's not apples to apples kind of thing either. Yeah, you don't have a fair comparison.
I hear you.
So.
Okay. Big thumbs up. Big thumbs up from Mother.
I always go for the family thing. I always go for the family thing.
Well, I liked how you thought this could be a game for me. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, Jay and I will take over the rest of the cast. Thank you for joining us for the Modern Gaming Edition, Mother.
Hi. Enjoyed it.
See you next time.
Sure will.
Hey, Jay. Modern Gaming. We're back yet again.
I'm mad at you.
Hey, I'm sorry things happened. Yes, we recorded the entire episode very much earlier than this, but unfortunately the audio didn't work out.
Yeah, I still don't know what happened exactly, but we're here. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Now the phone's ringing. You're freaking serious.
Doing it live. Did you turn it off?
Woo.
Or did you answer it?
It's just go.
Oh, okay. Must not have been that important. So yes, it's our first episode of 2020, January through March of 2020. I discussed with my mom to start off the podcast, doing a little bit different, 4 games. We discussed Dreams, we discussed Nioh 2, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and Animal Crossing. Do you have anything to say real quick over any of those games?
I most certainly would like to say that you ruined your town with tarantulas and wasps.
I did. This was a
Have you
fact.
fixed it yet?
No. I actually haven't really picked up Animal Crossing since Final Fantasy VII Remake came out.
But you're supposed to be playing it like for half an hour when you went to bed, so you could try to, clean up the tarantulas and wasps.
Nah, I haven't been good at continuing to play Animal Crossing. I got like almost 15 hours into it. It's kind of a weird game to judge because so much of it is over a long period of time rather than playing a game in single seated sessions. Know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I understand what you're talking about. I completely understand.
Yeah. So Jay, we're here for a game later, a simple Doom Eternal, because that's the one you played the most. And then we also got Journey to the Savage Planet, Yakuza Remastered Collection, that's the big one, and World of Horror. This all came out.
That's a Junji Ito game.
Yes. Well, it's Junji Ito inspired game. But first, Journey to the Savage Planet came out in January. Kind of the only title that really did. It's available via the Epic Game Store. It also came to Nintendo Switch. Hi, kitty cat. Oh, he's so nice. Yeah. Good kitty. Hopefully he's not going to run around the apartment and knock shit over. And
I'm just waiting for it. It's a recording session. I'm just waiting for it to happen.
Yeah, eat my Sega Saturn cord. That evil
You got that replaced yet?
What was that, Jay?
Did you get that replaced yet or not?
Yeah, I got it replaced. I got the thing. Could you speak closer to your microphone, please?
fine.
Hey, there we go. Now the audience can hear your lustrous voice.
No, I turned down the microphone because someone's on the phone.
Again?
Yes.
Oh, you're kidding me.
That's why I said the phone was ringing.
Oh my god. Oh, I thought it was your phone.
No.
Oh,
see,
boo.
I turned down the microphone so we can do this. It should be fine.
If you say so. So Journey to the Savage Planet, for those that don't know, is an adventure platformer type game, first-person perspective. You are on a very colorful planet. There's a lot of alien life forms going around, and you basically catalog all the animals and trees and plants and shit, and you craft items. Very simple,
Yeah, that
right?
about sums it up.
There is some jetpacks, there's grappling hooks, so game of the year immediately, in contention.
Well, a lot of games have grappling hooks, though, and that instantly makes them game of the year.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't make the rules. I just go by them.
That is true. So, Journey to the Savage Planet in our tier listings gets a triple S.
Yeah. Oh, triple S. And for those wondering why Jay sounds like he's a million miles away, his mom is continuing on the phone in the background. So please forgive it. We've been waiting forever for her to get off.
Well, she was off and now she's back on the phone. So what the hell?
So rude.
And I need to use her computer because mine is currently not working properly.
Oh, boo.
I know.
Yeah.
Sucks.
So the thing I do like about Journey to the Savage Planet, it's not a very long game. According to How Long to Beat, as I pull that website up really quick, because I did play, I believe I got halfway through the game. Journey to the...
Are you telling me, JD, that you did not beat Game of the Year because grappling hooks and you only got halfway through it,
I'm
and
mistaken.
instead...
It's about 7 hours. Okay, so...
And instead, you only played the Yakuza games.
I did play a lot of the Yakuza games. So the Journey to the Savage Planet has a really good sense of humor. That's probably the biggest positive coming out of the game. It's very meta. You can pick a number of characters. I picked, of course, the dog, which is really funny because then when you get hit and everything, you kind of you respond to things like a dog. You get hurt and yelp like a dog. It's kind of funny. That's what I experienced.
Is there a cat?
No.
That sucks.
Yeah, well. The negative I gotta say is I got kind of bored with it pretty fast. Like the comedy did as good as the comedy is. It's just always in your face, and got kind of tiring, at least for me. The creatures were definitely interesting, but again, the novelty kind of wore off after a little bit. I mean, there was funny things like you shoot some alien, and then it's because it's inflatable, it kind of blows away like a balloon. It pops, so that's kind of funny. You can punt him, you can punch. So that's good. It kind of reminds me of Slime Rancher a little bit. Its presentation and how you go about things. But it's really a crafting, collect 'em up kind of game. I imagine you didn't play much of this, did you, Jay?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So we are doing tiers for 2020, and my mom is also involved in the tiers, Jay. You will be happy to hear.
Ooh.
Let's look forward to that. Are you curious to what she gave her 4 games?
Yes, I am.
Well, she gave Nioh a C, Dreams and Ori a B, and then she gave Animal Crossing an S rating.
Sorry, she gave it a what, sorry?
She gave Animal Crossing an S rating.
Why?
She really liked
I'm
it.
curious. What was it, the cute animals? Was it like the whole idea of doing nothing? What gave it? Yeah.
Well, she's a big fan of games that appeal to a wider base, and the big thing is she saw herself being able to play it.
You know, if that's how your mum's going to rate games, that's actually not a half bad idea.
Not a bad idea, right? So
we could get a whole new audience of like senior citizens playing video games.
Yeah.
Come at me, Donna.
Yeah, it's great. So Journey to the Savage Planet, I'm going to give a simple little C rating. Anything below a C, basically, is kind of broken or unplayable, kind of situation, or just plain bad. I don't see Journey to the Savage Planet as anything great, but I don't see it as anything bad either. So it gets that middle ground C.
But we just discussed it. Grappling hook, game of the year, and you're giving it a C.
Well, if it didn't have that grappling hook, it would be a D. Let's be honest.
Right. Okay. So the grappling hook just makes it go up a tier.
Right. Exactly. So the Yakuza Remastered collection came out like the day after my birthday. So happy birthday to me there. Back in February.
Like the day I got back from Japan or something like that.
Right. It consists of remastered versions of 3, 4, and 5. And I started 4, played through the entire first part, and I beat all of Yakuza 3.
Yakuza 3, dude, that's definitely how you do a remaster. You don't just bring the game up, update it a tiny bit, and then slap it on a disc.
Well, man, after playing Yakuza... Okay, so it kind of gives you a good perspective over all the Yakuza games, because now they're all on the same system. There is 2 engines, I believe, that exist for the Yakuza series.
There's the Dragon engine and something else, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't recall what the names are. But Yakuza 3 is like... It seems like it's in a category of its own, because... It didn't have the time put into it as the Kiwami titles did, and it certainly wasn't up to kind of the PS3 standard as, at the very least, Yakuza 4 and 5 were remastered too, right?
Mm-hmm.
This felt like a PS2 game that was upscaled to a PS3 game, as opposed to everything seeming like, yeah, this belongs on the PS4.
How far out in the PS3's life cycle did the Yakuza 3 come out?
Ooh, that is a good question, worth looking up.
I'm looking it up now, actually. So, the PS3 debuted in 2006.
So this came out 3 years after the launch.
It did. That's kind of crazy, all things considered, because we had this conversation last time, and I thought it was a hell of a lot closer to being a launch title.
See, that's what I thought as well, and then I'm seeing Yakuza 4 was released just a year later.
That's freaking insane.
So that's a huge difference in, at the very least, the remastered, because that's what we're both looking at here. Yakuza 3 seems like it's a PS2 title that's been upscaled. Yakuza 4
really
is
does.
Night and day different between the two. It is crazy how much better that game is. Just upon your initial drop back in Kamurocho, the main city. Because my first... So Yakuza 3, you're Kiryu still, and this time he's in Okinawa, and he's on a beach helping orphans out. And, oh my god. Did I have my patience tested helping these fucking orphans out.
Alright, JD. Lately you've mentioned hating orphans. And you've done this now in multiple games. Why?
I don't know. They just keep popping up, and I have to do all these fetch quests for them all the time.
Yakuza 3 is the beach episode of Yakuza. In more than one way, if you think about it. Because, dude, you get to dress up as a freaking luchador and have a wrestling match on the beach. And that is awesome.
I mean, it's a goofy moment, sure. It's entertaining. A lot of the issue I have with Yakuza 3 is the fact it feels very much like a fetch quest-oriented game, rather than progressing through the larger story. Now, to at least some credit, Yakuza 3 did get me in at the end, so at least it did something well enough to do that, but it's the gameplay, the whole beat-em-up gameplay style, that it just feels old and a weak remaster, right? Because you're put into this new city. I thought there'd be maybe new mechanics, new things thrown in. Well, there's the Cabaret Club with a new mechanic, but it doesn't work. It's very broken, and it's not
You're
fun.
right, it doesn't work, and that's something that I complained about a lot, because it works a freaking year later.
Right. So, and even then, it's still not a fun mode, which is why they reverted back to the old Cabaret-style mode.
Well, I'm curious to know whether that old Cabaret-style mode was actually in the first 2 Yakuza games. Because, neither of us have actually played Yakuza 1 or Yakuza 2 in its original format.
You're right. You're right. But that doesn't mean they couldn't have made Yakuza 3 remastered a little bit better in that aspect.
True, but I'm just thinking out loud here because, like, if like maybe the Cabaret Club didn't exist until like friggin' 3, and this was like their first attempt at it. Who actually knows?
Maybe. I've never looked into it. But we are going upon all these games being remastered, right? And this is what we got in front of us. Kiryu controls like ass when you're running around the city. It doesn't feel right.
He's very slidey.
Yeah, he's very slidey. The battle mechanics are very janked out. It's like that the whole time. I wasn't a big fan of the upgrade system that was used in the game. And then you put on Yakuza 4, and it's like...
And oh boy.
Well, not only visually is it better, your multiple characters, which really puts life into the Yakuza series, at least for me.
Combat feels a hell of a lot smoother.
Everything feels good. They've given each character that you're focused on in the story a fighting style of their own to kind of give you a variety. So, hey, if you don't like one style, then you won't be them too long, and it won't wear on you.
Have you finished 4 yet?
No. I've been playing other things.
Where are you up to? Because I'm curious to know whether you've played around.
I'm about to do the prison break in part 2.
Okay, because the third character that you play as, dude, his fighting style, like, it's very defensive, and I really like it.
Okay.
But as we know from you don't like parrying in games.
Yeah. So anyways.
So maybe you won't like him as much as I do. Oh, interesting fact about him too, if you go back and look at the third character from the original Yakuza 4, they've had to actually remake him from the ground up because the original actor got done for doing something illegal.
Oh, the cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine. Whatever.
But yeah.
Japan don't mess around with those drugs.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, so I think the biggest takeaway is definitely Yakuza 4. I've heard nothing but good things about 5, and the fact that it's extremely long.
Kind of why I haven't touched it yet.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a trial. But I will say, like, if you're looking for a jumping on point of Yakuza, and you just kind of don't feel like playing out a huge story, I think Yakuza 4 kind of stands on its own, because any information that you're missing that's important to the overall story, it fills you in on what you need to know, and if you get super curious for a lot more of the backstory and whatnot, then you have the other games you can go do.
Indeed.
Yeah.
See, I would call this more of a direct sequel to friggin' number 1 than number 2 and 3 are, in a sense.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of this is to do with the Millennium Tower sort of stuff, and then the other half is to do with the past with Gordo.
Yeah.
So you can play 0, 1, 4, 5, 6.
You certainly could. I don't know if I would go ahead and skip 2. I mean, it's very relevant.
It is, and I suppose you need the orphans from 3, JD, as much as you don't like
them. No,
them.
you don't. You do not need orphans. No more orphans in my games for a long time. Please.
Well, that means you don't like Haruka. You're mean. Haruka's the best.
Maybe when she's older, she'll grow on me. Anyways, so at this point, I would say for the full price, Yakuza 4 in and of itself is very much worth it.
Hell yeah.
Don't have much to say about 5. I haven't played it yet, but 3 is that was a I'm gonna get through the story kind of thing, because I didn't like too much about it. But I've played much worse games out there.
Yeah, exactly. Could be worse.
Yeah. World of Horror also came out in February. That is the Junji Ito Lovecraftian style game. It's kind of this. It's titled a 1-bit horror game. If you follow me, It is available on Game Pass. It's on the service for if you signed up with Game Pass. So that's a really cool way to get it. It features a number of stories you play out in this kind of... It's not so much a point-and-click adventure as much as you're looking at this world in all black and white like you would a manga, and you're playing out various horror stories. I guess you could kind of say it's like a board game in a lot of ways, because you go from, let's say your tutorial intro story, so you learn all the mechanics and how to solve the mystery, because each mystery has a number of solutions that you can beat it. Destroy the monster, maybe do a ritual. You have to collect certain things around the little story world to complete a ritual, etc., etc. And it's kind of randomly generated, so even though you're playing out the whole story, you have to go different ways, or you might encounter the monster right away and die right away situation, or you might never encounter the monster at all, and you see different things. I think I played through the first tutorial, this is just the tutorial story, Jay, at least 4 times. And different events kind of led to different endings each time.
Did you die?
Oh yeah, I died my first couple tries, because I wasn't really... My one gripe is definitely the tutorial itself in teaching me how to, say, battle and pick things. I wasn't really understanding what it was trying to tell me and how the battle system works.
Right.
Because you have, say, 200 points, and when you encounter something, it goes, okay, you have a scenario. You could run, you can pick up a weapon, you could use a weapon, you could talk to it, or, whatever the scenario goes. And you have 200 points. Each of these actions is a certain amount of points, and you click those things to fill out the 200. So if you say attack with a knife, you can attack with the knife 3 times to increase your chances that the knife will indeed connect with, say, the creature.
But then you're using your battle points or whatever it is, and then you can end up in a situation where you can't do what you need to progress to this next part without dying.
Right, and there's actually 2 ways to die, which I think this is a really cool mechanic. You have your regular health, and then you have reason, which is your mind. So you could actually die from either losing health or your character going crazy.
Well, that's not at all morbid, but okay.
Well, I mean, it's very Junji Ito-esque, isn't it? Where characters just slowly lose themselves.
Does kind of sound like him, doesn't it?
Yeah. So it's a really cool concept game. I would say if you're a fan of horror, Lovecraftian stuff, definitely check this out. It's very much worth it. It's one of the most... I love unique games like this, and I've been trying to get more of these indie unique titles on the Modern Cast when these come out, and this is definitely one for people to check out, I would say, especially anime and manga fans. This is right up their alley.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Do you have any questions? I remember you saying this game probably isn't for you.
I'm gonna stand by that. Like, I've done a little bit of looking into it. It doesn't seem like it's for me.
Ah, bummer.
Look, doesn't mean like it's not going to be a good game. It's just I prefer actually kind of doing things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, the point-and-click adventure style or what have you, this kind of doesn't have a genre. But for the sake of just continuing a conversation, a point-and-click adventure is it's a very old-school gaming mechanic, and people just kind of aren't into those these days.
See, I like the Telltale ones, but you're constantly doing something in those.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 3D environment, not a picture plane that you're looking at, right?
Yeah.
Because one of my favorite games last year, Disco Elysium, was a point-and-click adventure.
Yeah, but dude, you could be a Nazi-fueled drug fiend racist in that game.
Very true. I still need to beat that, by the way. I should put that on my list of games I want to beat in 2020. I'm very adamant about trying to complete more games this year, which of course means some things have to be sacrificed in order for me to devote more time. Like,
well, on the plus side, you've already sacrificed bowling, so you're good.
well, I didn't choose to sacrifice it, but that does leave Wednesday nights open and Saturday mornings and possibly Sunday mornings just always free now, or Sunday afternoons after the Retro Gaming podcast when I do that. But yeah, World of Horror. I get, I want to give it a B, but because I think it's not for everybody, I think it's a little less entry level for a lot of gamers. I'm going to stick to it with a C. I think if more stories were added, that could increase it to a B. Because I felt like I went through the stories too quick sometimes.
Right. We didn't actually touch on what we gave Yakuza. That is an A, simply because of Yakuza 3.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going by Yakuza 4, that's definitely an S, I feel.
Yakuza 5 is also probably most likely, by all accounts and purposes that we have seen and heard and not played yet, is also probably going to be an S. But, I mean, with Yakuza 3 being like a B or a C, it gets brought down.
No, I'd definitely say Yakuza 3 is a C, at best.
I said a B or a C.
Yeah,
high C, low B. It's still fundamentally, it's a good game. It's not broken. Like, the story's there. It bridges the gaps that we need, but like, it's just it's Yakuza 3.
Right. And then full disclosure, of course, with these tiers, this is the whole objective is we have our tier rankings at the end of the year of all the games, and then it'll be much easier for us to rank them all with the aggregate. And of course, we're sticking by our rule that a remake cannot be in the top 5.
So, can a remake though be an S tier game?
Yes.
Cool, because there's a lot of remakes for next month's cast.
They're all remakes.
Yeah.
Remake, remasters, that kind of situation.
I'm thoroughly enjoying every one of these games that I've played so far, and the fact that I finally got through something in friggin' Persona 5 Royale this morning so I can continue has made that just like, yes, I'm playing it again. Stupid game.
Yeah. All right, last game is Doom Eternal, Jay. Your bread and butter of the month.
So, dude, how did I describe this last month? Because I've actually forgotten.
Well,
something about like getting my asshole kicked in.
Yeah. Oh, that description. Yes, of course.
Well, okay. You've played this, and you're not a fan of Doom in general, are you?
No, it's the fast-paced first-person shooter, the arena shooter, if you will. That particular style and genre doesn't appeal to me. I don't find it particularly. Okay. I know a good game when I see it, but I also know when I know I won't enjoy it, but that's more on me than, say, the game itself. Because when I see...
for you, that's Doom Eternal.
Well, it's Doom in general, and definitely Doom Eternal. Like, so Doom Eternal, compared to Doom 2016, they amped up the fast-paced to...
Yep.
An nth degree, for sure.
They've increased the mechanics and expanded on what they brought in.
Yes, the glory kills are very much largely animated now. I think there's up to 30.
There's something like that.
Yeah.
Like, depending on the angles that you like come down on things, it changes, and yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now the chainsaw is a button rather than just bringing it. You have to change into bringing it out all the time. So
you also got the flame belch, which gives you armor by setting things on fire, which I don't understand how that works. Like, friggin' with
it doesn't have to
with chemistry and stuff, but like, I guess setting things on fire gives me armor.
Yeah. So there's a lot of game mechanics that are improved upon and expanded upon, and that's great. That is what a sequel should do, right? Mm-hmm. That is why so many games, when you say, oh, which one's better, the second one's usually always better. Not to discount the first one's bad or anything, it's just, wow, they did this better. And that's what it should be. So Doom Eternal did that. It's big props. What loses me in particular are two things.
Okay.
The first is it's way too fast for me to keep up with.
get better.
Well, it's not that it's overly difficult that I can't handle it. I just don't like that it's so fast-paced. Because it's not for me.
I understand what you're saying. I was just being a dick.
Doom Eternal really emphasizes using the environment to increase your speed and to avoid fire. So you have to... And in each area is set up like an arena battle. And you have to use that environment to conquer the arena and take out all your enemies. And then, upon beating that area, you get your various items, your pickups, and then and this is where the second part loses me. It wants you really to traverse arena to arena, or area to area, if you will, through the wall humping, finding the little secrets to get some upgrades, and what have you. That, I'm like, man, just doesn't do it for me. I found it tedious, was not into it, because it was very repetitive to me. What I will give another big props to is the atmosphere and its attention to detail.
Oh, yeah, it's a pretty game.
It's a very beautiful game. When you look out in the distance, you can see everything that you're going to. Everything matters. What you look at in itself tells the story that's unfolding, right?
Yep.
Because if you want to learn the lore, you can. There's, of course, a lot of text to read. And then as you're going through and read those texts, then you can see the great battles of the demon portals that have opened that caused a lot of the mayhem that you're going through. So really cool stuff there. So again, I recognize a very good game when I see it, but it's not for me.
Yeah, I get that, but this is my kind of game. Like, dude, senseless violence and just being able to like relieve stress by kicking things and punching things and shooting things and having a story, which I guess is technically there, but you don't have to pay attention to because it's freaking Doom, and Doom shouldn't have a story where you just get to go kill things. It's great.
Yeah. So when I played this, I started out on normal, and I found myself being too stressed out.
What's that, like, Hurt Me Plenty or something?
I don't remember. Let's just call it normal mode. So, as I was traversing, I'm like, I felt like I was dying way too much, or too often, and then I put it on easy mode, and I found it more enjoyable, but it was still too fast. And that just... It feels... I mean, we're back to making it feel like Doom, but at the same time, the environmental usage really reminds me more of Quake than anything else.
Fair enough. No, I completely understand that, but for a huge Doom fan like myself, who loved 2016, who played 3, loves Doom 2, loves Doom 1.
Played 3.
Final Doom is technically a game.
I played Doom 3 as well for the Retro podcast, and we all hated it.
It's pretty much Halo, but friggin', you know, like I absolutely adore this game. Like, it's exactly what Doom should be, and if you've played a Doom before that's not Doom 3, then you should know what you're getting into. Like, if you came into this game expecting anything that wasn't Doom, then your expectations really aren't going to be met.
No,
it's freaking Doom.
I agree with you, Jay. Absolutely. If you're a first-person shooter fan and you want a high-octane action game, look no further than Doom Eternal. It's definitely a game of the year. It won't be a game of the year for me just because I don't like it.
It will probably... look, at this point, it's on my list, but we're still relatively early on in the year.
Right. So
and I need to finish it.
I played a couple hours, probably even up to 3, where you, I guess, change into the mind of a demon.
To get the super shotgun.
Yes.
That's fun.
Yeah. So I played up to that part and a little bit after that. And then I saw more gameplay of getting, I guess, this big Gatling gun thing.
Yeah, it's just a Gatling gun.
Yeah.
Which you have the upgrade abilities to like put a power shield in front of it to reduce damage. Or you can make it into a mobile turret, which sounds freaking awesome.
Oh, that does sound pretty cool.
Yeah, like splits in half, so it becomes like 2 Gatling guns, and you're just like running around with 2 Gatling guns.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But dude, did you know that the super shotgun has a grappling hook?
It does, and you can. So that was cool. I did see someone really play. He was playing this on what was it called?
Nightmare, Ultraviolence,
Nightmare.
Something like that.
He was no Ultraviolence. I think it was Ultraviolence. He's playing Ultraviolence, and he's using the grappling hook on the shotgun, and he can. It's like it can almost go across the map and get an enemy, and then you have to maneuver yourself in and around all the barriers so you don't run into it, and then you can crash into the demon. I was like, that is a cool gun. I really like that.
Dude, it's freaking cool. Like when it's fully upgraded, like after you've done all the challenges and stuff for the guns, because each gun has its own challenges. Which once you finally get through them and upgrade it completely, it unlocks another perk for the gun, blah, 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 blah. The grappling hooks like sets things on fire, which then gives you armor back from shooting them.
Yes.
So it's like point blank super shotgun range plus an armor blow to my face. Hell yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to love about this game.
This game is just metal, dude. Like it's what Doom should be in the year 2020.
That's a good way to. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
And like the little Easter eggs and stuff, which you didn't seem to like you can go and get freaking gacha toys for like each of the monsters in the Doom guy. That's awesome.
Yeah, I found a couple of those.
You can go through and like find friggin' records of like music from Quake and friggin' Wolfenstein, the original Doom. That's awesome. Each level has like a cheat code which you can find, which then you can go back and play old levels with said cheat code, and it doesn't affect gameplay and progression and any of that stuff because you found it in the game.
Right.
Just makes challenges and stuff easier. Dude, it's what Doom should be. I love it.
So, as a non-Doom player, I'm at least giving it an A tier.
And as a Doom player, I'm going to give it an S tier.
Yeah. So, I'll even mark that down for you, Jay.
Woo!
Just so, future reference, I know you gave Doom Eternal an S.
Well, it's a good game. You even agree, you just don't like it.
Right. Exactly.
Which is probably going to be how I feel about one of the games next month. Just forewarning, because it's just moving on.
Nah, come on. So, might have a little discussion next month for the April games. Final Fantasy VII Remake came out. I'm probably going to have that game beaten. Let's be honest.
I haven't started it, but I got it 10 days early and I still haven't started it yet.
Yeah, so then I'll be able to borrow the game from a friend of Resident Evil 3 Remake. Trials of Mana Remake comes out, and then Persona 5 Royale.
So, I finished Resident Evil 3 already. I'm about 3/4 of the way through Persona 5 Royale, and then I'll be starting Final Fantasy.
Good man. Man, you're a busy guy in April. Good for you.
I got nothing better to do. I can't go outside unless I'm working. And friggin', what am I going to do? Watch Raw? Ha!
Don't be silly. You wouldn't do that.
No, not at all.
Yeah. I can't wait. The whole podcast might just be us talking about Resi 3 and Final Fantasy VII. The 90s are back, let's face it. I am very curious about Trials of Mana because they re-released Trials of Mana on the Switch last year, but just the port, and this is a remake, so I'm hoping the remake is good because I like the Mana series, especially Secret of Mana, so see how Trials of Mana comes out.
Is Trials the first or the second?
Trials is the prequel.
Because I haven't played any of the Mana games.
Let me confirm.
Interesting fact too. This is going to be my first playthrough of RE3, which I've already finished because I didn't play the original, and my first playthrough of Final Fantasy VII.
I see.
That's going to be interesting.
It is a sequel to Secret of Mana.
Right, so Secret's the first, Trials is the second.
Yeah. But that's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Alrighty.
Jay, we had a good episode. Much shorter this time around.
I think we did an hour and a half last time. We went more in depth, but hey, gotta get it out.
I think we still got everything we wanted to say out there. I think the podcast in of itself is still going to be an hour and a half with my mom.
Woo!
Bravely Default 2. You played the demo?
I did.
What'd you think?
I'm gonna wait until the game comes out. Like, I'm gonna get it. Don't get me wrong. I don't know how far we are into the story at this point, and something's not clicking for me.
Well, you like the gameplay still, right? Though.
Yeah, no, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think because I haven't played Octopath, I think I'm missing something from a mechanic from that I don't quite understand.
Okay, I feel you. Yeah, you have to switch between the Brave and default mode to find the best way to essentially crack the people's armor, just like an Octopath.
Yeah, so I haven't played Octopath yet, so I don't quite understand that. But hey, when the game finally comes out, it's going to teach me all that anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah,
Either that, I can just go play Octopath because I got nothing better to do.
Dude, the Octopath gameplay, like, just because I had my gripes about the story being what it was, the gameplay was one of the most fun RPG gameplay experiences I've had in ages.
You know, I'm just going to throw this out there because I'm curious more than anything, and I know that technically, yeah, okay, blah, blah, it's a second game, etc., etc. It's in the same map, like, it looks like it's kind of in the same world, same map sort of thing, so I wonder if we're going to get to see, like, Agnes, Tiz, Idea, Ringabel, all those people that we had from the first couple of games that were key important characters, or if it's, like, in the future, or in the past.
Oh, like a Star Ocean thing. Yeah, I wonder. That would be pretty cool.
Because I became attached to those characters, dude.
Well, that's what an RPG is supposed to do, isn't it?
I know.
Okay, join us next month for I guess the remake month.
Woo! I'm going back to play Persona.
All right, later, Jay.
Later, guys. I'm going to play Persona.
Thank you.